Hello and welcome to the Step 1 Creating the Header video. In this video I will show you how to create a header for a budget adjustment. The header describes the line items that follow. Let's get started. I have already logged into FAST and will access the budget and forecasting application. Confirm that the year is correct, the current fiscal year in this case, and click the Submit button. If you make a change to the fiscal year, the next time you enter the application, it will default to your choice. If you've already set a default landing page using the second video in this series, click on the visible Create a New Budget Adjustment option. If you have not set a default landing page, you can also find this option on the drop-down menu. In this step, I will create the header for the budget adjustment. Required fields are marked with a red asterisk. The header must be completed and saved before line items with the details of the budget adjustment can be added. Let's take a look. The first field is the ORGN field. ORGN stands for Organizational Code and is part of the FOPL accounting string. Read more about organizational codes and FOPLs in the FAQs glossary. I can only enter an organizational code that I have financial access to. This means that to view, create, or approve a transaction against any FOPL, I have to have the appropriate level of authority on both the fund and the organizational code to perform the desired action. To see all the organization codes that I have access to, I will leave the field blank, click on the magnifying glass, and then click on the gray search button that appears in the pop-up window. As you can see, I have access to two organizational codes, 482 for the business office and 498 for the finance office. I'm going to choose the finance office to populate this field. To delete the organizational code and enter a new one, I'll highlight it and delete it using the delete key on your keyboard. If I already know the organization number, I can enter it directly into the field without searching for it. The quickest way to move to the next field is by using the Tab key on your keyboard, but you can also use your mouse. The effective date field also has a red asterisk, which means that it is a required field. The effective date is the date the transaction will be recorded in FAST Classic Reporting. This date must be in an open accounting period. An accounting period is typically closed 4 days after the month ends. For the sake of time, I'm going to move on. However, if you'd like to read the entire page, pause the video now. To enter a date, I will click on the calendar icon to the right of the field. While the calendar will allow you to choose any date, you must choose a date in an open accounting period. If you save the header with a date in a closed period, you'll receive a warning when you try to submit the adjustment for approval. For this example, I will choose today's date, which is highlighted. I will use the Tab key to move on to the last required field, the budget series. As most budget adjustments are fiscal in nature, adjusted fiscal is the default. If I instead wanted to make an adjustment to the base budget, I would click the arrow to the right of the field and select Adjusted Base. Not sure which to choose? A budget is an estimate of the expected income and expense for a given period. The base budget is your starting budget for each year and represents your annual allocation of the overall university operating budget. The fiscal budget represents the base budget which has been adjusted for events in the current fiscal year. For this example, I will choose Adjusted Fiscal since this is a one-time transfer. The next field is the budget type. Always leave the default. The last field is the description. While this field is not marked by an asterisk and is therefore not mandatory, it is strongly recommended that you enter a detailed description. This is a good place to note if there is a corresponding journal number. For this example, I will be creating a budget adjustment to transfer funds from the finance office to the business office for reception costs for a fall conference, so I will enter that as the description. I have now completed the required fields for the header and will click on the Create button beneath and to the right of the header. A new screen with the completed header has opened up. A few things to note. The budget adjustment has been assigned a budget transfer number. In this case, the number is BD900039. This is the number you would use to search FAST Classic Reporting or in the bar status report. You will also notice that the Create button has changed to Save Header. You can edit the information in the header as long as you click the Save Header button afterward. To demonstrate, I will add held in October 2016 to the description and then click the Save Header button. The header has now been updated. If you made a change but forgot to save it, the system will prompt you to save it when you later submit the budget adjustment for approval. Lastly, you will notice that there is a place to add accounting lines. This is where the accounting lines for the budget adjustment request will be entered. At this point, I have created the header for the budget adjustment request, and I am ready to enter the line items. Entering the line items will be covered in the next video. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Please email any feedback to fax@carleton.ca.